let's pull you a little bit away to talk about how would you, for new parents that is, and for parents who have children going into school, what would you do in terms of looking for the right preschool? How do you determine which is a right preschool? What kind of, education would you want for your children?
Yeah, because I know some friends who even started planning even before they have the kid, because
Are you serious?
Because I mean the first few years of your education is really crucial.
True.
It shapes you into what you are today. So the amount of time and the money and research you spent on finding the right school. Of course, it's always been there's always location, there's always the what kind of things are they teaching you in school,
True.
and in terms of the educators, a lot of things. But
a lot of things matter. But you know what the best thing is? It's a fact that you let the child be a child.
Yep.
You let the child be a child. You let the child enjoy the stages of growing up. Do not crowd the child. I always believe that you let the kid be the kid and just run wild like how we used to run wild.
Yeah, I mean it's kind of like sad for children nowadays, because at the age of 7 they've got like 500 tuition classes to go to. And when I was 5, and that was a very long time ago, I was like riding bikes and playing Legos and Barbies and all.
There you go.
We get to enjoy our childhood.
Well, you know what? Let's talk to our guest in the studios more about how do we pick a proper preschool?
Yeah, she's the founder of Preschool Genius Aulad, Ms. Aliza Alias, in the studio today. I mean, I'm sure parents have come to you all the time telling you, I want this and this for my children. So, tell us about, a bit about the school.
All right, bit about the school. Genius Aulad. Genius Aulad is an Islamic enrichment center. Okay, there's like Tadika, there's Pusat Perkembangan Kanak-kanak bisa enrichment centers. So these are actually some of the choices that parents can look for when they would like to choose a preschool for their children. Right, so Genius Aulad is actually was established about 10 years ago. So at that time, we feel that there is a need actually for an Islamic enrichment center, because it's something that's emphasized on English. And at the same time, all the Islamic teachings and values, which for Muslim parents, they're looking for that. So we established that about 10 years ago. And Alhamdulillah, started off with only 20 students. And Alhamdulillah, it's now 2,000 students.
Wow.
Yeah, but that's not, let's not look at that as a measure of success, because for me, the real measure of success is how in a school you can have like the siblings are there, the families and the neighborhoods, are there. So, recommending to children, to other people's children, grandchildren, things like that. So, I think, to share with you the tips on how to choose preschool, I would like to share how I see other parents, look at choosing preschool.
All right. Now let's talk about different categories of children. So there are some children who are probably very bright, way ahead from their peers, and there are some children who probably are not very academically inclined, but they're very different. They've got lovely talents and different skills.
Right.
How do you, from Genius Aulad and maybe other preschools, in your opinion, how do you differentiate this? How do you work with children of these two different categories?
Right. Actually, it's good to balance it out, of course, to put them together. But how do we as teachers balance it out is by well, we have what we call group learning. Okay, so group learning is like in the classroom with all the group activities and stuff like that, games, but there are, dedicated teachers who just are going to attend to the children one-to-one. So in Genius Aulad, we have many teachers in the school, right? So we have the ones who are attending to the children on one-to-one basis. So the report, for each individual children is individually recorded every day. So at any time, parents can see the children's development regardless of their age or their learning capabilities, right? So they can have their reading report at any time. And not just reading report, there are also other reports too.
And of course, parents, want to have, the best for their kids. They want, the children to excel in their studies, to be able to, be a good ballerina, and, have a black belt in taekwondo at the same time. But we want a lot of things for our kids, but sometimes financial capabilities can be a constraint. So how do you help them out in that sense?
All right. Yeah, I like you when Annie said just now, let kids be kids, right?
Yeah,
right.
That's what kids don't get these days, isn't it?
Right.
I mean, I remember back in my time. Again, I'm not that old, but you know, stop laughing. It's so funny. It's just that we used to run out in the rain, get the and literally go and play in the rain and everything. And kids don't get that these days.
So to answer to your question, you say how actually we help parents who are not financially,
independent,
has some constraint financially. I would say that like in Genius Aulad, the fees that we are offering is actually the cheapest among all enrichment centers. All enrichment centers, it is the cheapest. Now, some people, when they enter preschool, when they see, like for example, in Genius Aulad, the ambience, where we have the kind of flooring with cushion imported from France. Entering and stepping into Genius Aulad, some people would have the impression, oh, this is an expensive school, so I'm not going to register much. So, if parents would like to choose a preschool, do not be deterred by the nice ambience environment.
Right.
Okay, so that's not necessarily the measure or the fees actually that's offered in that particular preschool is not necessarily like that, you see, as what the ambience that they see.
All right. Now, how different is Aulad compared to all the other preschools? You've got loads of them mushrooming everywhere. I mean, you walk into, or rather you drive through a residential area, you probably have 10 on one single row. So how different is Aulad, and how competitive is the preschool industry, if I may say so, if that's the correct word, I may say so, in right now?
I would say the difference is that is the reputation of Genius Aulad itself. All right, it's not the reputation about it's been 10 years or more than 10 years. It's about our track record. Okay, our track record. We do our research and development for years. All right, we produce our own books based on the research and development, as you can see on the table here. We even produce this album or VCD for the children, like this VCD Happy to Salat. Okay, it's about how easy actually for Muslims, all right, how easy actually to perform Salat, and it's actually fun, for children can watch over and over again while learning from it. And this album, We're Brothers and Sisters, okay, this was launched in Perth, Australia last May. Okay, so these are the kind of thing which sets us very differently. Our research and development and how we do our own productions for all these things, instead of just outsource and don't really know much about, the whole study of it, is just so, just like on the shelf, kind of thing.
So Lisa, there's one question I need to ask you. Now, a lot of parents, like Zaliha was saying earlier, they want a lot of things for their children.
Parents yourself?
I am. Not her. Okay. Now, the one thing that they want is they want their kids, as the beginning stages of their education, they want their children to embrace and absorb as much as possible. In your own experience, and with the gazillions of parents that you have come across, what are the most what is it that they most look into and look for when they come into Aulad? What would they ask you for the first time?
Okay.
Besides the fees, of course.
All right. Across the board, I wouldn't say just Genius Aulad, I think generally parents would ask about reading. Reading, all right. But I just would like to, say to all parents out there, reading is not the only thing, the only development that we should look for in our children, right? A lot of parents would like to see their children read fast. So we should ask ourselves, are we looking for a fast reader or an avid reader? Right. So in Genius Aulad, we are offering, we are teaching our children to be avid reader as well, to be able to communicate, from the book, not just be able to read fast but do not understand
what's the content.
Can't relate back to what's the content in the book. So this kind of reader wouldn't take one book after another and wouldn't talk about the book, and when they grow up they are not able to write.
That's right.
And express themselves. So a lot of parents measure it by, okay, my child, the question would be like, okay, my child has already been in the school for 2-3 months, so when can my child start reading like the full book?
Oh, wow.
Kind of thing. No, that's the fact, you know. Like I say, across the board.
You have pushy parents, basically.
Yeah. So avid reader parents, you know. Avid reader is more important.
Yeah, I just want to share with you guys.
Maybe next time we can have another time just to talk about avid reading.
Yes, we should.
I love to talk about that.
Yeah, so here I have in my hand right now our Colors of Dua. Let's Color is actually a book for kids aged 4 to 6.
Aww.
It's really, really charming. You should see
so
this.
adorable.
They get to learn and, you know, they have fun at the same time. So it's something
it's
you
all
would
about dua that our Prophet Nabi Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam has taught us. Dua. It's actually Islam is the way of life. So in everything, you know, that they do, there is a dua, there is a blessing that we need to ask from God and make our life beautiful. It's like it's effortless, it's like fun, you know.
So it introduces the child to be closer to God, but in a very
values
in their level, at their level, not at our level.
Yeah, true.
It's really nice.
All right, thanks, Zaliha. Thank you so much, Zaliza. I'm getting Zaliha and Zaliza. This is going to be interesting. Zaliza, thank you so much for joining us this morning and introducing us to Genius Aulad as well.
So you can go to the website www.geniusaulad.com.my for more info. I'm sure parents out there are really excited, you know, to find out more about this center.
Yep. All right, now for you, don't go away. We've got a hot happening coming your way. Christmas Charity Benefit 2010. Wan Aliaza covered that one. Let's take a look at it with Wan. Take it.